everyone. Wishing you a wonderful Hanukkah and a wonderful early Shabbos. The drasha for this week, of course, will be dedicated to the holiday of Hanukkah. We are told by the Chafetz Chaim in the Mishnah Berurah that the halacha is that when it comes to Birkos Hamazon, when we do the benching, we have to say Al Hanisim. And he says the whole mahus, the whole essence of the holiday of Hanukkah is one of thanksgiving. It's one of showing our appreciation, expressing our appreciation verbally to the Almighty for allowing us to survive as Jews in terms of our spiritual identity. What's fascinating, what I would like us to consider, is why it is, how it is, that this did not get codified into law for Al HaMechya. Al HaMechya is the thanksgiving that we give after having a smaller meal, after having some pieces of cake, or after having some crackers. We do not say Birkat Hamazon in its entirety. We say a different prayer, a different blessing, a substitute, known as Al HaMechya, Bracha Mein Shalosh. And there we do not include, says the authorities, says the Mishnah Berurah, we do not include the Hanukkah day, the essence of the day in that blessing. And it is different than Birkas Hamazon. Let us consider for a moment why that is. Let's talk about Thanksgiving, not the holiday here in America, but the mentality of appreciating what we have. It is so hard for us in this pandemic to be so detached and to care for our own mental well-being. It's so dangerous even to not be aware, to not be cognizant of where we're at mentally in terms of our health. Just like we pay attention to our body when there are aches and pains, we need to pay attention to our body when it comes to mental challenges, difficulties. One of the ways to do this, one of the techniques, one of the strategies, is to be more observant of that which is good in our life, of that which we need to give thanks for, of that which we need to be grateful for. Unfortunately, sociologists will tell you that of everything that a person might do for another human being, the person only gets thanked about 5% of the time. 1 in 20 instances, 1 in 20 acts of kindness for others, only once, on average, in the world, in society, to the people providing that chesed, that kindness, only once in 20 times do they get thanked. We have to wonder for ourselves, maybe we need to solicit the opinions of others. Are we in a mode of promoting for society and for ourselves that we are more grateful and express thanks for others, to others? Do we do that more often, at least, hopefully, rather than criticize or be negative or disparaging others? We have to make sure that we have the right balance so that we inject into society that which is so reinforcing and positive and constructive. Tehillim tells us Asisa is supposed to do that which is right and good. We're told by the Torah, Asisa Yasher v'Hatov. And when it comes to doing what's good and what's straight, as per the Torah's instructions. So we need to realize that this isn't just a nice thing to do, but it is about having that mentality. What does it mean to be good? What does it mean to do what's right? And the Metzudas David looks at this and says that it means to be thankful, to have that. That's the definition of being a good person, which is amazing. And as the Chafetz Chaim said about the definition of Hanukkah, is to be thankful. And we look at these sources and we realize to ourselves that our literature, that our rabbis are telling us that if we want to be healthy Jews, we want to be loyal Jews, that being thankful is very much about who we are. Why do we have to be prompted to say every day, Moda Ani, we thank God? Why do we have to have a prompting to say thank you in the Shemona Esrei with Modim? Why does it have to be required of us to recite the Birkat HaMazon? It's because, unfortunately, people aren't wired to naturally always focus on that which is good. They're more likely to focus on that which is negative, that which threatens them on some level. But in order to be thankful, that requires a law. That requires an edict from the Torah. And therefore, it is put into our liturgy. And it is put into our list of requirements as Jews to be thankful. Because otherwise it might not happen. And it's that important that it's put in there. The Radak of David Kimchi says that you know what Shabbos is? Shabbos is about being thankful. Shabbos is about reflecting on the last 6 days and on our lives. Take time out. Don't make that day like every other day. And to infuse the notion of thankfulness into our week. And this answers the question, which is an astounding question. The part of the liturgy that you and I know as Hallel. Hallel is codified into Jewish law by Maimonides in the section on Hanukkah. Now, why would that be the case? There are so many other holidays when we say Hallel. So the Rambam doesn't do that by accident. He does because the whole essence of the holiday of Hanukkah is this acknowledgement of needing to give praise to the Almighty and needing to have that mentality. And therefore, we come back to our question. This is an answer given by my colleague, Rabbi Baum, in Bergenfield, New Jersey, where he explains that the Al HaMichya is a shorter version of things. And when it comes to Hanukkah, we can't do it justice to say thank you and to acknowledge the essence of the day of Hanukkah on a day when we would normally, with Birkat HaMazon, we'd say Al HaNisim in its entirety. When it comes to giving thanks for this day of thanks of Hanukkah, so we need to have the longer version of Al HaNisim. And if we're not going to have the longer version of Al HaNisim, then anything less than that on Hanukkah, this day of thanks, is inadequate. So we say the shorter version, the substitute, the Al HaMichya, after having crackers or cookies, etc. So to mention Hanukkah, just with a passing reference, as is done for other special days, wouldn't be appropriate because the whole identity of this day that we're going through is one of thanks. Leaving the technical alone. It is so important to reinforce ourselves and each other, to look after our well-being, and to take this message of Hanukkah of giving thanks and realize that so many people are homebound, or relatively speaking, more homebound than they have been in the past. This Hanukkah is a challenging Hanukkah. The Almighty should bless us with making sure that future Hanukkah observances are not taking place within a pandemic, that we can properly observe, that we can properly celebrate as we go about our lives, looking after ourselves and our loved ones during this pandemic. We take this message of Hanukkah even more to heart this year as we focus on what's good in our lives, focus on the blessing in our lives. We say thank you for everything which we have, which the Almighty has given us, so that we can smell the roses, so that we can appreciate and have a renewed sense of inspiration of all of the positive, all of the positives in our lives. And we realize that we are no longer being attacked by the Greeks or by others. We have the freedom to celebrate Hanukkah. And let that be representative of all the blessings that we have, to have the freedom to be able to have the well-being and the peace of mind to focus on everything that's good. And we're not under attack, we're not under duress, and there's no Antiochus trying to get us. That we have enough privilege in our life to be able to focus and have this mentality of thanks, and recognizing that this is the healthiest mentality to have. Thank you. Have a wonderful Hanukkah. Have a wonderful Shabbos.